This is Matthew 12 and 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by the words thou shalt, for by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. I'd like to start off by saying, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruchakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that's scattered abroad, the Akim and the Aquath that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shawab Omawan back at you with another lesson. And what I want to go into, all right, you see the title, all right, going based on Mr. Druski, all right, which he's about to go from views to a viewing very soon, all right. And as we all have seen, all right, this devil was thinking shit was sweet and shit was funny, all right, mocking Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right, and that is not going to fly with the Lord at the end of the day, okay. The Lord ain't got no time for mockers. All right, let's play this video real quick.
That's right! 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 Receive this word right here. That's right! That's right! That's right! You celebrate Christmas, don't you, brother? Yes, you do. And it's a white holiday. White holiday? Black power! Black power! That's right! That's right! That's right! That's right! Black is power! Black power! Can I speak to you, please? Lost another. Do you feel as if this is right? Boy, you need to come join us. That's right. That's right. That's right. We are not equal. That's right. Our ancestors did not live for this. That's right. Poison. You will not sell our brothers or sisters from the Constitution. That's right. I'd rather be in the sword than to be in hell. Free man. Free man. Free man. Free man. Free man. Free man. That's right. John in the window, chapter 16. That's right. And one man looked at me. Okay. He knew. Emancipated souls. That's right. That's right. I do not need help. I will assist myself. What form of payment for this, please? Easy for you. Is it because my skin is black? We out here bringing our people back to the law, statutes, and commandments, man. We do not follow rules made by white men. Yeah, we do not follow rules made by white men. You are not a sister, and you will not perceive to be a sister. I'm sorry. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. He is your master. He is your master. What y'all doing after? Is that a part of something? What's your name? Marley. Oh, shit. Black man. That's right.
Yeah, so y'all seen it. All right. This devil is literally about to go from views to a viewing real soon. Okay. So with that being said, let's grab a couple precepts. All right, as we just read, all right, every idle word that a man shall speak, thereof he shall be held accountable in the day of judgment. All right, because the Lord is not to be mocked. Let's grab that real quick. This is Galatians 6 and 7. It says, be not deceived. Yahweh is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. All right, and again, you know, the main point there is that the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah is not to be mocked. Okay, It is already bad enough that our power is a jealous power. So you mocking him is going to make him even more mad and bring wrath upon you, man. You see? So I wouldn't doubt this damn devil, right? Something real bad happens to him at the end of the day. All right. And hey, very well so. It will be in righteousness. All right. Because as the scriptures say, all right, it's a righteous thing to recompense those that hate thee, man. All right. And that's pretty much what this devil's doing. He got paid to do that, to bash the Israelites, to laugh at the Israelites, to make it, because he's got a very big platform. So this devil definitely got paid for him to do that, to make mockery of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. And that ain't nothing new. We always have nothing but scoffers at the end of the day. Okay. Let's grab this. This is give me 1 second. This is First Peter 3. It's lucky. Second Peter, my bad. Second Peter 3:3. It says, the coming day of the Lord Yahweh Shai, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last day scoffers, walking after their own lusts, okay, and saying, where is the promise of him, of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. All right. Point is, though, third verse, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their lust. When you read that in the NLT, it says, most importantly, I want to remind you that in the last days, scoffers will come mocking the truth and following their own desires. This devil was mocking the truth, all right, following after his own desires, because his desire is to get the views, to get paid, all right, to make people laugh, to entertain. Okay, and that's all he'll ever be, is just the entertainment and the fucking laugh. All right, but at the end of the day, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is gonna have the last laugh. You see? Matter of fact, let me grab that. This is Luke 6:25. It says, woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. Okay, so you getting the laughs now, but Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is gonna have the last laugh. All right, just like it tells you in Proverbs 1, first Proverbs 1:25. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. Because this devil definitely, in order for him to mock us, that means he has watched us. All right, in which he was really trying to mock IUIC. All right, because that's how IUIC dresses. Okay. And IUIC ain't men of the Lord, man. Those are all wicked ass fools right there that are misleading our people. If the blind lead the blind, shall they not both fall into a ditch? All right, but still, you were still mocking, okay, mocking his truth. So it says, but you have set at naught all my counsel with none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as a desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. You see, so the Lord is going to laugh and mock you back when that desolation comes, when that destruction comes, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. See, then you're going to be trying to call the name of the Lord, all right, if you even know the name of the Lord, but the Lord's going to laugh at you, man. Okay, let's grab Jude. This is Jude 1. And give me 1 second. Yeah, let's grab Jude 1:10. It says, but these speak of those things which they know not, Okay, but what they know naturally as brute beasts. All right, and this is really going into, you got people like Sakari, that they know the name of the Lord, but then they speak evil of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, not truly fully believing. All right, but all right, this guy right now is speaking evil because he's being a scoffer. All right, as a matter of fact, it says that in the NLT, it says, but these people scoff at things they do not understand, like unthinking animals. They do whatever their instincts tell them, and so they bring about their own destruction. Whew. You see, and really is because Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai set him up to be like that. All right, which I'll bring that out in a second. All right, it says, "What sorrow awaits them? For they follow in the footsteps of Cain, who killed his brother. Like Balaam, they deceive people for money, and like Korah, they perish in their rebellion." All right, yeah, and that's what he did. He's deceiving these people and just being, funny about it, all for his money. Okay, it says, when these people eat with you in your fellowship meals. Matter of fact, nah, I ain't even gonna read that one because that's more of like people that come on, people that know this truth, and then they come on our comment boards really trying to scoff. All right. You know what? Let me read it through the spirit. These are spots in your feast of charity when they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear, because that's what this devil's doing, man. He doing it without fear. You see, it says clouds they are without water. Okay, carried about of winds, trees whose fruit withered. Okay, without fruit, twice dead, plucked up by the roots. All right, but the point I really wanted in there is that they feed themselves without fear. Okay, and again, this goes into those that know the truth, and they come and they don't agree with everything that's written in the scriptures, and then they try to prophesy out of their own hearts. All right, and then they come on our comment boards to try to scoff, trying to say, oh, we hate on them, or leave us alone. You always looking for something. All right, that's nonsense because we're here to defend the gospel at the end of the day. Okay, but them knowing the truth, they still try to prophesy out of their own hearts, and they basically wither away from this truth, you see. And that's why they're twice dead. All right, one, because they were already wicked, they came back into the truth, learned the truth, and now you want to still scoff and mock the truth and not agree with it fully, man. So you're twice dead. All right, and then you become plucked up by the roots. It says raging waves of the sea, foaming out of their own mouth. I mean, so like it foaming out of their own shame, wandering stars to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. All right, so foaming out their own shame, it shows. Okay, when these people speak, and when they really ain't got nothing, when they really don't know the truth and they're erring. All right, it literally, their shame foams out of them, man. Comes out of their damn pores. You see, but to prove the point that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is the one that set this devil up, all right, to say these things, okay? This is Proverbs 16 and 1, all right? It says, the preparations of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. You see? Let's read that again. The preparations of the heart in man, okay? Because the heart goes into your Lahab, all right? So the Lahab is what? Your mind. All right. The preparations of the mind in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord Yahweh. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord Yahweh weigheth the spirits. All right. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. You see, your thoughts will be established when you walk in the ways of the Lord, man. See, if he walked in the ways of the Lord, his thoughts would be established to actually go out there and preach the word, or to say something that's actually, that you can learn from. But because this devil is just about likes and views, okay, about his money, All right. The Lord literally put that on his tongue to say that just to condemn him, you see, just to be destroyed later. All right. It says the Lord has made all things for himself, yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. Okay. And that's exactly what that was being, prepared for. Okay. He being prepared for the day of evil. All right. So this is why it's important for you to be careful what you speak, man, because life and death is in the power of the tongue. Okay. This is mm, this is Proverbs 18:7. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. You see? So let's jump down more. Okay. This is 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. All right, meaning what? You're going to reap the consequences. All right, so death and life are in the power of the tongue. The tongue is such a boastful member of the body. Okay, you can either say things that come out of your mouth that's going to put you to death and mark you for death and condemn you, or you can speak life into the people, all right, and gain salvation from it. See, he ain't gaining no salvation, man. He just being a whole damn fool. You see, he being a straight mockery to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So in his case, all right, death is in the power of his tongue. You see, and he will eat the fruit thereof when that time comes. He's going to reap the consequences. Okay, when Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai comes to judge him. Okay, let's grab Psalms 34. All right. And 13, it says, mm, it says, let's go up one, 12. It says, Salakia, it says, what man is he that desireth life and loveth many days, that he may see good? All right, see, he ain't desire any life, man. He not desiring salvation. Okay. So this is why the Lord set him up for the okie doke, okay? Because he wants to be a clown. All right, you wanna go in your own way, all right, and follow after your little lust and pleasures. Okay, you want to mock, all right. So the Lord, he already knew that he had it in his mind, man. You see, he already had it in his mind to mock prophets. He thought about it. All right, so the Lord didn't establish his thoughts in the righteous manner. He established his life, his thoughts on the left hand side, man, to do something wickedly so he can be destroyed for it. It says, "Keep thy tongue from evil, and thy lips from speaking guile." Okay, so this devil was, speaking evil with his tongue. Okay, and his lips are basically speaking guile, because guile goes into lies. All right, but still, all right, you just speaking a bunch of nonsense that is unworthy, man, to hear. Like, nobody wants to hear that shit. Okay, here it is. It's bad enough we got the whole world against us, and here it is, you want to help this damn devil. All right, you want to help Esau, all right, make mockery of shit. And man, listen, let's go to James. All right. This is James 3 and give me 1 second. Hold on. Let's take it from 3. It says James 3:3. It says, "Behold, we put bits in the horses' mouths that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Behold also the ships, which though they be so great and are driven off fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth. Even so the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. All right, let's read that in the NLT. In the same way, the tongue is a small thing that makes grand speeches, but a tiny spark can set a great forest on fire. All right, it says, and the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and is set on fire of hell. Okay? When you read that in the NLT, it says, in the same way, which we were just read that slightly. Let me go to 6. It says, and the tongue is a flame of fire. It is a whole world of wickedness, corrupting your entire body. It can set your whole life on fire, for it is set on fire by hell itself. And see, that's what's going to happen to this devil, man. He gonna get burned, all right, by the word of the Lord, one, all right, and then the Lord might just, give him a whole missile, because he being prideful at the end of the day. And those that are, walking in great pride in these last days they're gonna go through great miseries. All right. And Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai gonna put you through great misery, and then keep you alive, and then put a damn missile right in your mouth. All right. So yeah, they're gonna burn at the end of the day. He gonna burn. Okay. He definitely gonna burn. But before he burn, something big gonna happen to this devil. Something bad is gonna happen to his ass. Just like the same thing with what you had, who was it? You had Boozy, little Boozy. Okay, he was speaking mockery to the Lord, and look, he started going through all types of crazy shit with his son. All right, you got this other damn devil, Charleston White, that I've been waiting for a while now for the Lord to get his ass, man. Because these people are people that speak great things with their mouths, all right, and they do a lot of mockery, all right, got a lot to say. But remember, man, just because you walking around, all right, as a matter of fact, they don't get judged speedily, because there's a reason for it, because the Lord's going to reserve you for the day of judgment. This is Ecclesiastes 8:11. And it says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. That's why they continue to keep doing what they're doing, because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is not executed. He hasn't executed speedily. You see, he hasn't put these people down yet. All right, but that's because you're being reserved for the day of judgment. That means the Lord has a special destruction for you. You see, it says, though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear Yahweh, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow because he feareth not before Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And that's why they speak the things that they speak, because they don't fear Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You see? But again, you're going to go from views to viewing. All right. You're going to hear it one of these days. And that's the thing, that the Lord going to let everybody see. All right. How many of these people have tried to come up against Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, mocked and scoffed, tried to, misuse the prophets, mock the prophets, try to put the prophets out there like they were doing all this wickedness, lying on them, bearing false witness, and then something bad happening. Prime example is Mr. Black Conscious Community, man. All right, you had Brother Polite, okay, that here he was constantly mocking the men of the Lord. All right, he was out there speaking about the grape doctrine, saying that, oh, this is what we're doing. We're grabbing little ones and doing this, blah blah blah, and just bearing false witness, because he had no understanding. And what ended up happening? Now his ass is sitting in jail for the same very thing that he was trying to mock us for, and try to entertain the world with. That's exactly what his ass ended up in jail for. You see, the Lord is cruel, man. The Lord ain't got no time for them games, man. And the Lord will expose you at one point, and he will let everybody know, okay, that you were a mocker, that you were a scoffer. Okay. So let's grab um Romans 2 and 6. It says, who will render every man according to his deeds. All right. Matter of fact, let me take it up a little bit. Mm, 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 mm. Let's take it from 2 and 1. It says, therefore, thou art inexcusable, O man, whosoever thou art that judgest, for wherein thou judgest another, thou condemnest thyself, for thou that judgest does the same things. All right. Yeah, you got a bunch of people that they want to judge something. All right, but they out here doing complete wickedness. The only ones that could judge are the ones that are moving in righteousness, man. Okay. Then they could go out there and judge. It says, but we are sure that the judgment of Yahweh is according to truth against them which commit such things. And thinkest thou this, O man, that judges them which do such things, and does the same, thou shalt escape the judgment of Yahweh? Or despises thou the riches of his goodness and forbearance and long suffering, not knowing that the goodness of Yahweh leadeth thee to repentance? But after thy hardness and impenitent, okay, heart treasurest, hold on, an impenitent heart treasurest up unto thyself wrath against the day of wrath and revelation of the righteous judgment of Yahweh, who will render to every man according to his deeds, to them who by patient continuance in well doing seek for glory and honor and immortality and eternal life. You see? But unto them that are contentious, okay, and do not obey the truth, but obey unrighteousness, indignation and wrath, tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that does evil. You see? And man, listen. The Lord is going to render to every man according to his deeds, man. You are going to reap what you sow. What you deserve is going to be given to you, man. All right. Let's grab this. This is Ecclesiastes. Okay. As a matter of fact, since I was in Galatians, let me grab this 6 and 3. Because this devil think he's somebody, man. It says, for if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. All right. But the point is, for a man that think he is something, all right, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. This devil think just because he got all these views that he's this popular guy that can do that. You see? That he can mock Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai because he's so famous, which he got there through being a whole fruit cake, a whole fruit cup, all right, being the guardsman at the door of Diddy's parties. Okay, so just put it together how he got there, okay, but this devil think he's somebody, okay, just because he's a popular star, a comedian. All right. So if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. All right. Now we could go back to Ecclesiastes. Matter of fact, let's go to 2 Corinthians 9 and 6. It says, but this I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly. Okay. And he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. Okay. Every man according as he purposeth in his heart, let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for Yahweh love. Nah, I thought he was gonna go into something else. Salakia. All right. But again, going back to, you reap what you sow at the end of the day. So what you reap, all right, what you sow, all right, you're gonna also reap that. Okay. And again, every idol that a man shall speak, he's going to be held accountable for it. So him being a whole clown, all right, the Lord going to be a clown with him at the end of the day. All right, this is Ecclesiastes um, 10 and 12. It says, the words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. Okay? Read that in the NLT. It says, wise words bring approval, but fools are destroyed by their own words. It says, the beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be, and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? Okay. Read that in the NLT. It says, words will bring approval. Wise words will bring approval, but fools are destroyed by their own words. Fools base their thoughts on foolish assumptions, so their conclusions will be wicked madness. Okay? No, it's straight to the point. This is Proverbs 17. This is 17 and 5. It says, whoso mocketh the poor, and that's what this devil was doing, man. He was literally mocking the poor. Whoso mocketh the poor reproaches his maker. And he that is glad at calamities shall not be unpunished. Okay? Those who mock the poor insult their maker. Those who rejoice at the misfortune of others will be punished. Okay, so the point is that he tried to mock the poor, so you're really insulting Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, your maker. Okay, and that's when one departs from their maker, because you're full of pride. You see, it says those who mock the poor insult their maker. All right, I had a precept in my head that just popped up. Lord willing to come back to me. All right, but moving on, you have let's grab Sirach. This is Sirach 4 and 24. It says, for by speech wisdom shall be known, and learning by the word of the tongue. And no wise speak against the truth, but be abashed of the error of thine ignorance. All right. And this devil ain't got no damn wisdom at all. So ain't no wisdom ever gonna come out of his mouth, because into a malicious soul wisdom cannot enter. Right? But it says, in no wise speak against the truth, which that's the point. All right. Don't speak about the truth if you don't know nothing about this truth. Don't even mock this truth, man. All right, because that will be your destruction. Again, life and death is in the power of the tongue. All right. Use your tongue wisely. All right, because not using your tongue wisely will bring you down, will bring your fall down, man. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's grab that. Ecclesiasticus 28. This is 28 and 17. It says the stroke, my bad, I was reading something. It says the stroke of the whip maketh marks in the flesh, but the stroke of the tongue breaketh the bones. Many have fallen by the edge of the sword, but not so many as have fallen by the tongue. Matter of fact, let me grab this in the GNT. Sirach 28 GNT. Give me 1 second. All right, 17. It says, "A whip can raise a welt, but a vicious tongue can break bones." All right, which that's really talking about those that have this truth, man. Because when we bring this word out, man, we could break the bones. All right, by just bringing out the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. It says more people have died as a result of loose talk than were ever killed by swords. Count yourself lucky if you have been spared the experience of having irresponsible talk directed against you. If you have never had the iron yoke around your neck or those heavy chains on your legs, slander leads to a miserable death. Okay? And when you go into that word slander, let's see what that word slander go into. All right, slander. It says the action or crime of making a false spoken statement damaging to a person's reputation. You see, that's what this devil was doing. He was doing slander, man. All right, he's trying to break down the reputation of a real Israelite man. All right, because again, he was trying to mock IUIC, but he was literally okay trying to damage the reputation of a true Israelite man because he had the garments on. You see, this is how they blame the ministry, man. It says making false or damaging statements about someone. All right, defame. Yeah, see, that's what he was trying to do. Defame the Israelites, like it's a joke. Okay, defame basically the character. All right, just like Daddy Esau, because that's what Daddy Esau do all the time. All right, it says more people have died as a result of loose talk, okay, than were ever killed by swords. Count yourself lucky if you have been spared the experience of having irresponsible talk directed against you. If you have never had that iron yoke around your neck or your those heavy chains on your legs, slander leads to a miserable death. But in fact, you'd be better off dead. Okay, devout people, however, cannot Devout people, however, cannot be overcome by slander. They cannot be burned by its flames. Its victims are those who have abandoned the Lord. Whew. And that's what this devil did. Instead of actually taking heed of the word, he wants to slander the word. All right. So, okay, you can't break us down. You're not going to break any of us down because scriptures say, fear not the incredulity and the imaginations that these people have against us, man. All right, because all unfaithful is going to die in their unfaithfulness. So you're not hurting us at the end of the day. You hurting the Lord, man. We just read that, and what was that in Proverbs? Okay, so you all you doing is pissing off the Lord, man, because you making mockery of him. All right, so your judgment is going to be great for that mockery. So it says its victims are those who have abandoned the Lord Yahweh Shai. Once the fire of slander has been lit among them, it cannot be put out. You see, that's why you're gonna see something bad happen to him. You're gonna see that viewing, okay, and it's gonna be since you are a TikToker and you're someone that loves social media, well, that's where it's gonna be posted. You're gonna see all them comments that say RIP, you know. It says, slander will pronounce on them, oh, Salakia, slander will pounce on them like a lion and tear them to pieces like a leopard. All right. It says, don't you fence in your property, don't you lock up your money. Well, be just as careful. Okay, hold on. I said that wrong. Don't you fence in your property? Don't you lock up your money? Well, be just as careful with what you say. weighing every word and have a lock ready for your mouth. Sometimes it's better not to say nothing, man. And us as, you know, brothers in this truth, we have a fiery tongue, we have a fiery mouth. We know a lot of wisdom, but sometimes even brothers in this truth will just keep their mouth shut, and it's better not to say something than to say something at all. you know, how much more somebody that's mocking the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. For you, it's just completely better that you just shut the hell up. All right. Because again, every idle word a man shall speak shall be held accountable for it in the day of judgment. Okay. It says someone may be waiting for you to slip. And if you're not careful, you will stumble over your own words and fall down in front of him. And who's the one that's waiting for you to slip? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You see, he can't wait for you to say some stupid shit. All right, because then he gonna send those death angels upon you. You see, there be spirits created for vengeance that appease the wrath of them that made them. They can't wait to go out there and put you to death for that, man. You see, let's grab Sirach, Slakia. This is Sirach. Come on, 21 and 26. Let me just see what's up a little bit. I'll take it from 25. It says, the lips of talkers will be telling such things as pertaineth not unto them, but the words of such as have understanding are weighed in the balance. The heart of fools is in their mouth, but the mouth of the wise is in their heart. Okay, and we know that the heart is what? Okay, Yalab is in their mouth. In their mind. Okay, so it says after that, it says, when the ungodly curses Satan, he curses his own soul. And that's what's gonna happen, man. When evil come upon this devil, he gonna try to, he gonna try to curse out. I guarantee you the Lord put the spirit on him to curse out Satan. You see? Like if it was Satan's fault. All right, when Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is the one that prepares the person's mouth to say what they say, as we read in 16 Proverbs 16 and 1. Okay. All right, and when he does that, all right, he's cursing out his own soul, because you just as you are the devil. You see, you followed in the ways of Satan. Okay, so let's grab that's pretty much the point, you know. Yeah, that's pretty much the point. And like I said, this devil's gonna catch a horrible judgment, man. And anybody else that's ever came up against the truth, all right, and mocked and scoffed, all right, the Lord is going to destroy you in the worst kind of way possible, man. It is not a joke to be scoffing and mocking his truth. All right. Let me see something real quick. This is 1 second. Man, why does my phone do that? I see myself picking it. Give me 1 second. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted before. This is Jude 1 and 18. It says, but beloved, mm, no, 18. So like I read 17. It says, how that they told you there should be mockers in the last time who should walk after their own ungodly lust. These be they who separate themselves, sensual, having not the spirit. You see, he probably wish he could go out there and speak the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, but he can't, because he don't have the spirit to do that. All right, because he don't truly believe. So instead, when these people don't have the spirit, all right, the first thing they like to do is just mock at the thing. See, they mock at things they don't understand. You see, they get offended, so they have to mock. He probably heard, he definitely has heard the word, you know what I'm saying? Because he mocking it to the T. But when they hear the word, instead of them actually taking heed of it, they get offended by the word. You see? So that's what happens when they get offended by it. Now they want to go and scoff it, because that's all they could pretty much do is scoff it because they don't understand it, you know? Salakia. Let me see one more. This is mm, I'll go with this, going off of what I just said. Proverbs 14:6. A scorner, all right, which is basically a scoffer, a scorner seeketh wisdom and findeth it not, but knowledge is easy unto him that understand it. See? So because he's a scoffer, he never gonna find the actual truth, man, because he doesn't take it serious. You see? Proverbs 1:22. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? Okay. And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. You see? See, when the knowledge was given to you, I'm sure he was given his word at one point. Okay. He hated the knowledge, so he becomes a scorner. Mm-hmm. Mm. This is this is Isaiah 29:24. The terrible one is brought to naught. Well, no, actually, that's really going into Esau. All right. But I want this piece in it. All right. It says, for the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed. Okay. And all that watch for iniquity are cut off. All right. So all scorners are going to be consumed. Mm. Let's go back to Jude real quick. This is Jude 1:16. These are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lusts, and their mouth speaketh great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration because of advantage. All right. That mouth, all right, speaking great swelling words is going into them speaking in pride. All right. This devil was literally speaking in pride, doing it with confidence too. I'm telling you, man. Oh man. The judgment that's gonna come upon this damn devil is gonna be heavy, heavy, and the rest of these other people that have scoffed in the past. And we can't wait to see these things, man. I can't wait to see one of these viewings all over social media. Okay, hold on real quick. That's pretty much the point, though. Let me just see real quick. Yeah, that's pretty much the point. All right, so hey, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Hakim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom.